What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Celtics Daily with me, Mike Zakarian. Less than a month away from the start of the NBA season, and as I mentioned yesterday, we were getting oh so close to some fun information dropping. And then yesterday, our guy JT went on a full-on media press tour like he was releasing a memoir that was actually written by somebody else. So we're going to get into that today. We got Bill Simmons wiling out with some trade opportunities or potential trades. You've got Skinny Zion out there. We're going to get some of your comments. We're going to get into that as we always do. But as I'm legally required to do, before we get into today's content, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, cruise it up on 2,100 subs right now. Keep the momentum going. And as I said yesterday, we're going to give away a pair of Celtics tickets the second we get up to 3K subs. So let's go. Share it with your friends. Share it with your families. And hey, listen, if you don't really like what I'm doing here, share it with your enemies. Get creative with how you hate. Let's do it, though. Our guy Jason Tatum, good Lord, man. He did everything. He had an interview on People magazine. He was on, I think it was Good Morning America. He sat down next to my nemesis, Stephen A. Smith, did a little bit of everything. Let me just give you some quotes from yesterday. Jason Tatum said, I haven't said I'm not playing this season. I don't go to rehab 6 days a week for nothing. 6 days a week for nothing. And I feel like I almost have to take some L's here because you guys, the second the injury happened, I was like, all right, Tank City, we're going to sit this season out, bring back JT healthy, ready to go. And you were like, he's built different. He had the surgery so fast. It was a different kind of surgery. And everybody was spewing their hopium into the universe. And I said, no, I'm a realistic, cynical man. And then bang, JT says, not so fast. And that, you have to think he at least believes he has a shot at coming back this season because there's just no need to do that. Why would you go and just publicly say this everywhere just to know you're not doing it? What I would love to know is how does the Celtics brass feel about this? Like, are they like, man, don't do that. Chill out, chill out. Like, we'll see. If you're ready, but you don't need to put that out there. Or are they also up to speed with where he is recovery-wise? And they're like, hey, listen, I don't know. Maybe there's a shot. Let me give you some other quotes, too, from yesterday, because Tatum was, pretty honest, and he said in this interview with People, excuse me, Jason Tatum said he cried for 2 hours after tearing his Achilles, wondering if Boston would trade him, if his career was over, or if he would lose all of his endorsement deals. He said, I literally sat there and cried for 2 hours because so many things ran through my mind. Damn, is my career over? Am I going to get traded? Are all my partners going to drop me? Also, just shout out Tatum, because people are probably like, wow, that's a wild overreaction. The Celtics wouldn't do that. Hey, I remember Isaiah Thomas hit his hip. Remember that playoff run against, was it the Wizards that they, and then it went all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, I think, right? And his hip was banged up, and then all of a sudden he was a Cleveland Cavalier, and his career was never the same again. Danny Ainge, a cold one, but Danny Ainge not there anymore, so there's that. I want to get to some of the other stuff because there was some interesting, just tidbits from him. And Noah Dalzell shared and reported a lot of that from the Celtics blog or from SB Nation and Celtics CLNS. So I want to make sure I hit some of these other quotes here because even Tatum's doctor weighed in a little bit. The one who was the specialist, I forget the name, it's like Martin O'Malley or something, who did the actual procedure and has been following up with JT and just some real wild stuff here. Here we go. Sorry. Hold on. Excuse me. Jason Tatum shook his head at the concept of the Celtics trying to get a better draft pick this season. So Malika Andrews of ESPN had him on and was like, what's your thoughts on the old tank thing? We heard some comments from Mike Zakarian on the Celtics Daily that he thinks that the Celtics are going to tank this season. JT, just great teammate, he says, it's the way our organization is ran. It's the culture that we set. It's the standard that we have, regardless of who we are as a team. And that goes into Joe Mazzulla being a nutbag too. Joe Mazzulla can't tank. That's just not out there. He can't do it. The other thing that we got too from Tatum, he was just kind of saying whenever that date is, it will be a home game in front of the fans at TD Garden. So Bill Simmons posited, I think it was Bill Simmons. He had Zach Lowe on yesterday, his podcast. He posited does his birthday is March 3rd? Is he planning a big thing here? which I'm just I like why do this to me? Like I had mentally prepared myself, okay? I was like, listen, it's not going to be a good year. Let's not worry about it. But now I'm like, if we could just hold on to the rope, if we could just grip that rope, get to March, and then all of a sudden, I don't know why we went with John Cena, but like the music happens. Tatum comes down the runway. Does Tatum have an entry song? I think we should do entry songs for players who have come back. Like, imagine when Klay Thompson, whether you're a Warriors fan or not, when Klay, brutal injuries, back to back, missed so much time. When he came back that first game, fires down that dunk. I forget who it was against. But yeah, why not? Let's have Klay. Like, Klay should have had an entry song when he came back. Let's get JT an entry song. I want to find this quote from people because, oh, here it is. This is, oh man. No, this isn't the quote. Sorry. This is another JT almost crying thing. Here we go. O'Malley says that Tatum's progress has been impressive. I don't think I've seen a person's calf look as strong as his. At 6 or 8 weeks, he was doing double heel rises. He worked his calf so damn hard that the side effect of the loss of strength, I don't think he's going to have any. I mean, like, listen, I know people throw this around, and they say, like, we like to say built different, but, like, for real, maybe JT built different. Man, it's just got me looking at the Eastern Conference. There was the Cleveland Cavaliers had an update yesterday that Darius Garland looks like he's going to miss a little bit more time than was initially discussed, and so I bet we don't even see Garland till December at the earliest. I'm just saying, like, if the Celtics, even if they're like a 6 seed, right? If they're a 6 seed, or even less than that, let's say they're in the play-in, because worst case scenario, as long as the Celtics aren't trying to lose games on purpose, they are going to be at worst like a 7 or 8 seed, right? That's it. Even like resting dudes, that's as long as they don't intentionally tank, that's where they're going to be. Imagine if you were a team that is a 1 or a 2 seed. You're the Cavs, you're the New York Knicks, you busted your ass all season long, dominated the Eastern Conference. What is your reward? Your reward in the first round is you play the Boston freaking Celtics, with Tatum back. And I guess, like, if JT comes back, my guess is, like, all of a sudden, we're kind of getting it now, but I wonder if, like, in January, we start the new year, right? People are, New Year's resolutions. Everybody's a little slushy and sloppy after the holidays, trying to get back into it. Celtics are like, hey, here's a little motivation for you. Jason Tatum has ramped up on-court activities, playing with the team a little bit, right? We move into February a little bit. Oh, ramping up a little bit more. The Joel Embiid, always be ramping up a little bit more. And then bang, on his birthday, March 3rd. I want to Google, who do the Celtics play on March 3rd? Should have done this before, but hey, this is what content's all about. We're learning together. Celtics schedule, March 3rd, 2026. Let's see. Do they play anybody? They play at Milwaukee on March 2nd. So that's not gonna do it. That's not gonna do it. Let's see if I can let's see if we can find what's the closest home game to March 3rd. And now I'm like nervous that's not his birthday, but I'm pretty sure it's his birthday. Oh, the Ticketmaster. Why am I looking through Ticketmaster? What am I doing? Grow up. Why? I should just have the Celtics.com. All right, so they play March 4th at home against the Charlotte Hornets. Win. I really, like, you can probably hear it in my voice because I'm still not 100%. I still don't feel great, but I woke up anew. I even put on the Luke Cornett shirt. Shout out Luke, right? I'm ready, man. I'm ready for this because I really do think, and again, shame on you, Tatum, if you can't come back now because you have gotten my hopes too high. It's just like, you're pretty sure your significant other is waning interest or maybe dabbling outside of the relationship, right? And then all of a sudden they like remember something specific, and they like check in. Hey, that's what happened to me. A spark has been ignited. I just love this idea of the Celtics hanging on, and then and again, like, say they're a 6 seed, right? And you're playing the Orlando Magic or the Atlanta Hawks, Detroit Pistons, whatever. Like, who were you scared of in the Eastern Conference? The reason the Celtics weren't considered contenders is because they were just missing their guy. And I mean, sure, their roster obviously not as like intense as or well-rounded as it was in years past. Of course, I still think they would be underdogs against the Cleveland Cavs or the New York Knicks. Just again, depth in general. Like if you look at that Celtics roster, you have ostensibly lost Al Horford, which has been kind of reported that Al is the second the Kuminga stuff gets sorted with Golden State, which we're on like month 400 of this. Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton, Seth Curry, and Gary Payton II are all going to sign with Golden State. So like you lose Al, Porzingis, Holiday, I get it, and the depth of this team is disgusting. So you look at the guard position, it's basically Simons, Pritchard, White. Which three guards is enough. You can get by with that. And then you'll see what happens. Like, Hugo might get some run. Baylor gets some run. Whatever. We'll see. It will include them in the wing conversation because it's just straight up like Jaylen Brown, Sam Hauser, Chris Boucher, I guess. Jordan Walsh. We'll see what you got, kid. And then Josh Minot. Like, maybe they squeeze some juice out of why not Minot. And then there's Luka Garza, Keita, and Xavier Tillman. Like, obviously, not world beaters, right? You're not hearing that and being like, hell yeah, here we go. But all of a sudden, you throw Tatum back into that mix. It makes them more competitive. And again, like, yes, the Knicks would probably be favored in a series if they're healthy. Cavs would be favored in a series if they're healthy. But, the experience, the championship pedigree of guys like Tatum and Brown who have been doing it for like a decade now, while these other teams, and we've talked about it before, like on paper, yes, Knicks, Cavs, of course. Yes, Magic, Hawks, they look great. Detroit, this young blossoming team, Giannis Antetokounmpo, whatever. None of these teams have won shit except for Giannis, of course. But again, he's playing with Kevin Porter Jr. in the corpse of Kyle Kuzma. So you put him in a series, I don't know. Oh, man, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Speaking of feeling it, our guy Zion, Skinny Zion's out there, right? Are you believing? Are you believing? I don't know, Zion, the Z in Zion standing for the Z in Ozempic. Oh, Zion Williamson. He looks svelte. He's also talking like a man that's been to therapy. He said, I realize it feels good to feel good. Dude. Yep. Every Thursday at 3:00, baby. Respect. It sounds like he's working on both his physical health and his mental health. I'm not saying that I'm just putting this out there because I like watching Zion play basketball. It has nothing to do with the Celtics. But I saw Skinny Zion. Excuse me. And I'm just curious if people believe. Are you a believer in Zion? Do we see it? Because I do think it's interesting. We talked about this like at the very beginning of the offseason, but Zion's contract is so fascinating because none of it's guaranteed. The Pelicans basically have a ripcord they can pull at any point. None of the money is guaranteed. At any point, if they're like, this isn't working anymore, they can trade him pretty easily. And then even though the teams would pick up the salary, like you could just it's just a very movable thing. So, well, I don't know. Just throwing that out there. Shout out Skinny Zion. Wanted to give him some love. Let's get back to Celtic stuff. Bill Simmons was just spitting wild game, and I don't know if it's good. They were talking about Houston, right? So as we mentioned yesterday, the Houston Rockets lose Fred VanVleet, and their guard position is disgusting. They've got like three guards right now. They've got the young guy, Amin Thompson, who, looks like he's going to be a superstar, whether it's this season or seasons to come. He looks awesome, like an insane freak athlete, can do it on the defensive end like nobody else in the league right now. Will win. He'll be like the first non-center, I think, since Marcus Smart to win Defensive Player of the Year at some point. Shut up, my boy, Marcus Wicked Smart. But they were talking about potential trades. And again, Houston can't really make a move until December because of their contract and salary situation and some of the restrictions that are set. But here are the guys they mentioned. Ayo Dosunmu from the Chicago Bulls. Jose Grand Theft Alvarado from the New Orleans Pelicans. TJ White Boy McConnell from the Indiana Pacers. Scottie Pippen Jr. Not the Scottie Pippen wilding out on Twitter talking about Bitcoin, but Scottie Pippen Jr., Memphis Grizzlies. And then Bill Simmons said Peyton Pritchard. Listen, Peyton Pritchard would make a ton of sense for Houston, of course. What's Peyton Pritchard's contract numbers right now? Like, of course, he would make a ton of sense. They are, like, he is, I wouldn't say he's a plus defender, but he's not a minus defender, right? Oh, sorry, the Rockets, the guard situation, I forgot to keep going. They have Amin Thompson. They have Reed Shepherd, right, who was like a top 5 pick last season, did not get on the court. We know how Ime Udoka feels about guys who don't play defense really well. So like he's gonna have to get a shot, especially because they can't make a move till mid-December. You're gonna see some Reed Shepherd out there with that little mustache. And then it's like Aaron Holiday. So whatever. Let's look at Peyton Pritchard's his cash money, homie. Peyton Pritchard is making $7 million this year, and then $9 million the year after that, I believe. So that's a pretty team-friendly deal. And I think if you are, the Celtics aren't going to do it. Bill, stop whiling, man. The Celtics won't do that. But I hear it. I hear what you're saying. You're like, listen, if this team isn't going to compete this year, Peyton's probably due for a bigger payday soon. So you're like, maybe we get off of this. We'll have to get some like salary back, but maybe we can get some of these picks because Houston has insane picks. Houston has like Phoenix's first. They got some Brooklyn stuff in there. Or no, I think Brooklyn got their picks back, but they've got some Phoenix picks. Houston's just like next to OKC, they've got like a ton of assets left. So I don't know. I just throwing it out there. I hope not. I'm a fast PP guy. I love Peyton Pritchard. He's one of my favorite guys to root for. He does the full court heaves, man. How are you gonna hate on that? How are you gonna hate on that full court heave? Curious what people's thoughts are on the Peyton Pritchard deal. I hope he stays. I don't want to see that. I don't even want to see the rumors. Simons, I'm okay with it, which is a good transition. Sammy versus Simons. We're gonna get into some of your comments from yesterday's video. Do me a favor, if you made it this far, just hit the subscribe. Don't be stingy with your subs, okay? Some of you are stingy. Release the stinge. All right, here we go. Troubadour at Heart says you only deal with this was talking about the Houston potential trades. You only deal with Houston if you can get a young stud or a good first-round pick. I don't want any worn-out old vets like Steven Adams or Dorian Finney-Smith. I think that's who we're talking about. We need a young, high-upside athletic player for when Tatum comes back. Yeah, listen, I think both things can be true. The reason one of those old stingy vets, I had added stingy, one of those old vets would have to be included is just for the money, to make the money work. But that would just be to make the money work, and then a young player or picks would be included in that. So good point there by Troubadour at Heart. We got AJB said would love for JT to be the best player in 5 years, but I think Wemby will be that guy. Yeah, we were talking in the last video about how Tatum, the anonymous Western executive said that Tatum is going to be the best player in 2030. Yeah, Wembanyama should be included in that list. And then Wesley Lee. And also Dave's here, not man. I'll include both of your comments. Wesley says, sorry, but I'd rather trade Sam than Simons. But them two bigs would be key for us. And then Dave said, why would we trade Hauser, the best three-point role player in the league, on a very good deal? And then Handsome Be Wonderful replied, because he sucks when we're not playing scrub teams. So I think the reason that when we say Simons versus Sam, because Sam, the reason you'd rather trade Sam, I think, is because excuse me, the return would be better than Simons. And I think a lot of you, and like rightfully so, think Simons is a better player than Sam Hauser. We don't have to get into the semantics of that. But Simons' contract ends this year. It's an expiring deal. So unless the team is just happy to take on money because then it leaves the books next season, most likely Hauser is a more viable asset as someone who can like hold his own defensively, shoot the three ball, unless it's against good teams, right? He shoots at like a 40+% clip from three. But he's under contract for the next couple of years at a pretty like team-friendly deal. So that would be why someone would be more interested in Sam Hauser, because they know they control the asset for the next couple of years. But that's kind of the conversation between the two. Yeah, I don't know. I'm starting to lean. Like, I do think they still need to make a move to get under the cap, but I'm just fascinated to see this. I need the season to start because I want to get to like December, a month in, and be like, hey, where are we as a team, as a unit? Well, I'm saying we. Like, I'm out there, all 5'7", 140 pounds, hitting them with a tween. But I'm curious to see where we're going to be because I do think that those first couple of months, and plus like what the Celtics are seeing behind the scenes from our guy Tatum, is going to dictate how this team moves forward in the shadows, how they move in the shadows. But that's going to do it for me. I'm going to pop in some lozenges. Is that the plural? Lozenge? I'm going to put a cough drop in. We got to feel a little bit better. But appreciate everybody sticking with me through the grind as I sound like dog do. Hit the sub on the way out. We will see you tomorrow, hopefully with more quotes from a different magazine as Tatum goes on his tour being like, my calves never been strong. I get strong calves. Shout out JT. We love having the good news. And shout out you for watching the show. We're out skis.